Okay, so to illustrate preparation of safe payment schedule, let's answer the same problem that we did using cash priority program. So to prepare safe payment schedule, we would need the maximum possible loss. Okay, so maximum possible loss is the sum of the book value of remaining non-cash assets and the cash withheld for future liquidation expenses and unrecorded liabilities. Okay, so actually this one, cash withheld for future expenses and unrecorded liabilities. Just be careful because the total cash withheld is not the same as your cash withheld for future liquidation expenses, because it includes both the cash withheld for unpaid liabilities and cash withheld for future liquidation expenses and unrecorded liabilities. Okay, so this one, okay, only this one will be included in your maximum possible loss. Cash withheld for unpaid liabilities will not be part of this maximum possible loss. Okay, so now we have to account for the transactions affecting the capital accounts of the partners. So Vince, James, Albert, and Kath. Then we have total. Okay, so this schedule is pertaining to the actual transactions. Okay, this differs from the this is different from the safe payment schedule. Okay, so actual transaction, accounting of actual transactions. So first, we have the capital, or rather the interest of the partners prior to the liquidation. So interest, Vince has 210,000. Okay, James 187,500, and then 102,500 for Albert, and then for Kat 75,000. So let's compute for the total. 210,000 plus 187,500 plus 102,500, and lastly plus 75,000. So this is 575,000 in total. Okay, so next, okay, similar to lump sum liquidation, from this interest we would deduct two items. Okay, so plus or minus gain or loss on realization, and also the actual liquidation expenses. Okay, so how do we compute for gain or loss on realization? Again, that's the difference between the proceeds and the book value of non-cash assets. So the difference between these two. Okay, so for the month of January, so we have 115 minus 200. Okay, so 85,000. So 85,000 here, loss. And then we have paid expenses amounting to 5,000. So that is another 5,000. Okay, since both gain or loss on realization and liquidation expenses will be absorbed by each partner in accordance with their P&L ratio of 3:2, we can combine these two. Okay, so this is 90,000. So 90,000 times 30%. Okay, so 90,000 times 30%. So we have 27,000 negative. Okay, and then 27 also for Albert and Kath, 20%. Okay, so that is 90,000 times 20%. Okay, we have 18,000. So less 18,000, less 18,000. Okay, so we get the total. So this is your capital balances or interest. These are the interest or balances before distribution in January. Okay. So let's compute. 210 minus 27. Okay, so we have 183,000. 187,500 minus 27,000. So this is 160,500. Okay, and then for Albert, 102,500 times or minus 18,000 rather. Okay, so we have 84,500. 75,000 less 18,000 for Kath, 57,000. And for the total, 575 minus 90, so this is 485,000. Now, after accounting for the actual loss on realization and liquidation expenses, we have to we can now create or prepare a safe payment schedule for the month of January. So how do we prepare safe payment schedule for the month of January? So we can refer to these balances. Okay, the balances before distribution in January. Okay, so let's see. Okay, I will create another page for all safe payment schedules. Okay, so safe payment schedule for the month of January. Okay, so our starting point would be the balances before the distribution in January. Okay, so after affecting the actual transactions. So we have 183, 160,500, 84,500, 57, and 485. So let's just copy everything. 183, 160,500, 84,500, 57,000, and 485,000. Okay, next. So these are the balances before distribution. Okay, so what do we need to do? So to safely distribute profits, we have to assume that all remaining non-cash assets will be worthless, and we would still need to spend some amount of cash for future liquidation expenses, and that is the reason why we need to determine the maximum possible loss. This is only possible. Okay, possible potential losses to be incurred. Okay, anyway, your maximum possible loss is composed of the book value of the remaining non-cash assets and cash withheld for future liquidation expenses. So let's check how much would be your maximum possible loss. Okay, so for book value of the remaining non-cash assets, so we have only sold 200,000 and the total is 900,000. So 900,000 minus 200,000, the book value of the remaining non-cash assets amounted to 700 plus cash withheld for future liquidation expenses. Kaya for the month of January, it is 0. Anyway, so it should be 700,000. So the total is 700,000 and we deduct. Okay, so as you can see, 700,000, if we distribute all of this 700,000 to these partners, okay, in the ratio of 3:2, eventually all of this will become negative. Okay, so why? Because this is the total amount to be received by the partners, or this is the total interest or capital that they would receive if or without this maximum possible loss. When we deduct this 700,000, we would have negative amount. So let's see, 485 minus 700. So we would have a negative amount of 215,000. Meaning, if after deducting the maximum possible loss from our balance before distribution, okay, and it turned out negative, we cannot distribute any amount of cash for this period. Okay, so similar to our answers in our using a cash priority program. For the month of January, we cannot distribute any amount of cash to the partners. So same answer. Okay, next. So what will happen next? Since we cannot distribute any amount of cash, these balances will be your starting point for the month of February. Okay, so for the month of February, another gain or loss on realization should be recognized, as well as another liquidation expenses to be paid. Okay, so let's see again. For the month of February, so this is your assets realized. Okay, so cash realized and book value of asset is 400,000. So let's check. 276,500 proceeds less book value 400,000. Okay, so we have 123,500 of loss. Okay, so another loss on realization 123,500. So let's put it here. Okay, so 123,500. And what else? Okay, do we have expenses paid? Yes, another 3,500. So 123,500 and 3,500. So again, we can combine these two. So the total is so 123,500 and 3,500. Okay, so the total is 127,000. Okay, so 127,000, let's distribute again, times 30%. So this is 38,100. Another 38,100. And so 127 times 20%. So we have 25,400. 25,400 here. 25,400 here. Okay. So let's compute for the balances. Again, before distribution. Okay, balance before distribution in February. Okay, so 183,000 less 38,100. So we have 144,900. 160,500 less 38,100. 122,400. For Albert, 84,500 less 25,400. So we have 59,100. And lastly, 57,000 minus 25,400. So for Kath, we have 31,600. Okay, so we can get also the total for 85 minus 127. So we have 358,000. Now, so the partners may ask about the cash to be distributed to them. So we should again prepare safe payment schedule for the month of February. So for the month of February, another safe payment schedule, and the starting point, of course, would be the balances before distribution for the month of February. So total. So balance before distribution for the month of February. Okay, so let's see. 144,900. Okay, so we have 144,900. 122,400. Next, 59,100. 31,600. And 358,000 for the total. Okay. Again, what would we need? Okay, we would need the maximum possible loss. So book value of the remaining non-cash assets and cash withheld for future liquidation expenses and unrecorded liabilities. So now, how much is the book value of the remaining non-cash assets? Okay, so let's compute. 900 minus 200 for January, and another 400 has been sold for the month of February. So the only remaining non-cash assets amounted to 300,000. Okay, 300,000 plus cash withheld for the month of February of 8,000. So that is 308,000. So our maximum possible loss amounted to 308. So this is 300 plus 8. So 308,000. And so as you can see, when we deduct 358 minus 308, so it is positive amount, 50,000. And therefore, we can distribute cash to the partners. Okay, so how are we going to distribute this maximum possible loss? Of course, in accordance with their P&L ratio again. So 308 times 30%. So we have 92,400. 92,400 also. And then 308 times 20%. So we have 61,600. Another 61,600. Okay. So this will be your balances after maximum possible loss. So 144,900 less 92,400. So this is 52,500. Okay, 122,400 minus 92,400, 30,000. Okay, and then lastly, third one is 59,100 minus 61,600. So we have a negative amount of 2,500. Okay, and then lastly, so here negative amount again of 30,000. Okay, so sir, what are we going to do with negative balances? Okay, it is not the same as what as the rules, no, in partnership lump sum liquidation. So in partnership installment liquidation, all of these negative balances shall be absorbed. Okay, and then at the end of the at the last period, then that's the time that we have to consider whether the partner is solvent or insolvent. But for the meantime, all negative balances will be absorbed or shall be absorbed by the partners with positive balances. Okay, so offset 2,500, 30,000. Okay, then this will be absorbed by Vince and James respectively. So that is a total of 32,500. 3:3, therefore divided by 2. So 16 to 50. 16 to 50. Okay. So 16 to 50 plus 52,500. Vince will receive 36,250 while James will receive 13,750. Of course, Albert and Kath will not receive anything for the month of February. Okay? So you may check the answers under cash priority program. Of course, we would have the same answer. Okay, so distribution for the month of February. So we have the same answer. 36,250, 13,750, and then 0 for Albert and Kath. Okay, so now, of course, we have to deduct this distribution in February to our actual accounting of transactions. So 30. This is 36,250. Sorry. Okay. 36,250. And then 13,750. For Albert and Kat, no, none has been distributed. So this is a total of 50,000. So the starting point for the month of March would be as follows. So 144,900 minus 36,250. So this is 108,650. Okay, then for James, 122,400 minus 13,750. Okay, so 108,650 also. And then 59,100, so same for Albert, and 31,600 for Kath. So the net amount is 308,000. Okay, what's next? So this is the balance after distribution in February. Okay, so again, we have another plus or minus gain or loss on realization, and as well as liquidation expenses for the month of March. Okay, so let's check. Sorry. Okay. So for the month of March, okay, so we have sold, or we have sold 150,000 non-cash assets and realized 92,000. So 92 less 150. So this is your loss on realization, 58,000. And then we have also incurred 7,000 for liquidation expenses. So a total of 58,000 and 7,000. So total of 65,000. Okay. 65, again, distribute is using the respective P&L ratio. So times 30%, this is 19,500. 19,500. And then 65 times 20%, so this is 13,000. 13,000. Okay, so let's compute for the total. 108,650 less 19,500. Okay, so 89,150. So of course they have the same. And then 59,100 less 13,000. Okay, so 46,100. And lastly 31,600 less 13,000. Okay, so this is 18,600. For the total, we have 308 minus 65. So 243,000. Okay, so again, these are the balances before distribution in March. Okay, so if we're going to distribute, we have to prepare another safe payment schedule. Okay, using this, of course, using these balances. Okay, so another safe payment schedule. Safe payment schedule, March. Okay, so Vince, James, Albert, and Kath. And then total. Okay. So balance before distribution. Okay, so we have na 89,150, 89,150, 89,150. Okay, and then for Albert, we have 46,100 and 18,600. 46,100 and 18,600. Okay, and then the total is 243,000. Okay, 243,000. Now, we would need to determine again the maximum possible loss. So, book value and cash withheld for future liquidation expenses and unrecorded liabilities. Okay, so for the month of March, after selling another 150,000, the only remaining amount would be, of course, 150,000. Okay, so that's the only remaining book value, or the book value of the remaining non-cash assets. Okay, so we have here 150, and then the cash withheld for future liquidation expenses for the month of March amounted to 5,000. So 150 plus 5,000, so that would give us 155,000. So 243 minus 155. Okay, so this is 88,000. Okay, so positive again. Therefore, we have to distribute this cash to each partner in the ratio of 3:3:2:2 again. So 155,000 times 30%. So this is 46,500. 46,500. Okay, for Albert and Kath, both are 20%. So 155 times 20%, we have 31,000. 31,000 31,000. Okay, so let's compute. 89,150 minus 46,500. So this is 42,650. Okay, so of course same. And then for Albert, 46,100 less 31,000. So 15,100. And then lastly 18,600 minus 31,000. Okay, so 12,400. So as you can see, there's still another negative balance. So this negative balance should be distributed to the rest of the partners with positive balances. So 12,400. Of course, this should be 0. So 12,4 times 3 over 8 this time. Okay, that is 3 plus 3 plus 2. So 4,650. 4,650, and then 12,4 times 2 over 8. So 3,1. Okay, so that's it for March. Okay, so let's compute. 42,650 less 4,650. Okay, so we have 38,000. Another 38,000 for James. For Albert, this is 12,000. And of course, Kath will not receive anything. So this is 88,000. So this will be your distribution for the month of March. Okay, so you can check again, no, if we have the same answers under cash priority program. Most likely we have the same answers. Anyway, so 38, 38, and then 12. So let's update. Distribution, March. 38, 38, and then 12. So 0. Total of 88,000. Okay, so let's check. 89,150 minus 38,000. So we have 51,150. Another 51,150. And then for Albert, 46,100 minus 12,000. So this is 34,100. Okay, and then of course, just bring this down, 18,600. So the balance is 243 minus 88. We have 155,000. So these are your balances at the end of March after distribution. So again, starting point, plus and minus gain or loss on realization for the month of April, and then less liquidation expenses if any. Okay. So now our gain or loss on realization, so 80 minus 150. So 80 minus 150. So that is 70,000. Okay? And we don't have any expenses paid. So that is 70,000. 70,000 only. Okay? So 70,000. So this is 0. So distribute 70,000 times 0.3. This is 21,000. Another 21,000. And 70 times 0.2, this is 14,000. So 14,000. Another 14,000. Okay, so let's termine 51,150 less 21,000. So this is 30,150. 51,150 minus 21,000. Okay, this is 30,150. And then 34,100 minus 14,000. So 20,100. And lastly, 4,600. So the difference is 85,000. Now, since this is the last month or last period, okay, all we have to do is to check, okay, is to check whether there are still negative balances. If none, then these balances before distribution in April will be the amount to be distributed in April. Okay, so distribution in April will be the same amount. So 30,150, 30,150, 20,100, 4,600, and of course 85,000. And of course the bottom figures will all be 0. Okay, so that's the end of our discussion about partnership accounting. So I hope you learned something. Thank you and God bless everyone.